Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me. I'm Cheryl and this is Your Journey Yoga. Today we are going to be working with blocks, straps, and bolsters. So these props can come in super handy, particularly when we are just beginning our yoga journey. If you're coming back from an injury or surgery or anything like that, anything where you're healing parts of your body. So they can help ease you into deeper stretches. We're going to start today. We call this easy pose. For a lot of people, guys, this is not easy. This is a really decent hip stretch. So if you are coming back from an injury or you just have naturally tight hips, I'm going to recommend either your block, a bolster. You can use a pillow. You can use a rolled up blanket. You can use a folded up towel. So it doesn't have to be a bolster. You can use what you already have with you at home. So just something basically that's going to give you a little bit of a lift. So I'm going to slide this. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. So I'm going to slide this behind me and I'm just going to come and sit up on that bolster. So as we lift the sit bones and allow the legs to open, this eases the pressure through the hips, allowing us to sit up tall. This promotes better posture. We have a tendency when we're sitting on our bum, on those sit bones, to kind of hollow out through that upper back and through the belly. This actually promotes us to sit up nice and tall, promoting that good posture, which is in turn going to help us with balance and our gait, moving much more efficiently and just keeping the body healthy and in alignment. So in this pose, fantastic place if you do meditations, if it's watching TV. So anything, you can do it lengthwise or you can do it horizontally, so just however it feels good to you. So with those knees open out nice and wide and we sit up tall, this helps to open up our chest and to get really nice deep breath. So closing those eyes, we just start resting those hands comfortably anywhere you like, a formal hand posture or just a comfortable hand posture, and breathe. So just checking in. Kind of moving from the crown of the head throughout your body. Really listening to whatever the messages your body's sending today, even if you don't particularly want to hear them. It's important to listen, to allow those messages to guide you today, along with your breath. And then just gently open your eyes. Let's release those hands down by the side and take a hold kind of at the edge of the bolster, or you can press your palms to the mat. So depending upon the height of your towel, your pillow, your bolster, you might be able to get your palms to the mat or take a hold. And we're just going to draw those shoulders down and away. So if you're sitting, press those shoulders down and away and press those palms into the mat. An active drawing of those shoulders down and away from the ears. Now we want to make sure that we're not arching our back, but we're staying in that neutral posture, and then just gently bring the chin towards the chest. Inhale, lift the head, and as you exhale, lean your head to the right and just draw your ear towards your shoulder. Relax your face, relax your jaw. So if those hands are pressing against the earth, I want you to really press down with that left hand. If you're holding on to your bolster or your pillow, I want you to really take a hold and kind of pull even further down, drawing those shoulders down and away, and you should feel an intensification of that stretch down that left side. Now inhale, head up nice and tall, and then gently lean to the left. So we're just kind of relaxed at first, just letting those arms hang, just a gentle holding on of the blanket of the bolster or a gentle press of the palms. Now we're going to intensify things. As that ear is drawn towards that left shoulder, I want you to press that right palm firmly into the mat or pull a little bit more on that bolster, like you're lifting that edge of the bolster up towards you almost. That's going to help pull that shoulder down and away and intensify that stretch down the side of the neck. And let's bring it back to center, releasing the chin down towards the chest. Now let's bring the hands back back just a bit, taking a hold of the outside corner of your pillow or your bolster or the blanket. So with that chin towards the chest, and I want you to kind of pull those shoulders back and away. And then slowly begin to lift your gaze towards the sky. So I'm just kind of pulling up on the bolster to lengthen those arms and create a little more intensity. And then gently just let yourself come back to neutral, still sitting up nice and tall, crossing that left hand to the top of the right knee. Now this might be a little high. If it is, you're just on your, kind of the tips of your fingers or the palm of your hand. And we're going to use the strength of that left arm to rotate and pull yourself around. Breathe. Now sometimes we need to start with the bolster and we can actually work our way down to the floor. So initially the body's like, oh yeah, I'm on guard, I'm taking care of things. And then it slowly starts to just melt that tension away. That's a beautiful thing, you guys. So at some point, if you want to take that bolster away, you want to level down a notch with your towel, your blanket. Now slowly release that rotation. And let's take it to the other side. Now I would recommend, however, that if you do on one side, you do the same level on the other. Now the rotation and that range of motion might not be the same. That is absolutely okay. But just making sure that the level is the same. Breathe. And gently release that rotation. We're going to come forward and up onto all fours. So taking your blanket, setting it aside. If you need cushion for your knees, keep that blanket, keep that towel. Bolster is going to be a little bit high, but if you need a little extra cushion, you can always fold the mat back on itself and give you about a triple layer. And we're just going to do some cat and cows. So in our tabletop position here, shoulders are right over the wrists, core is strong. We take a big breath in as we lower the tummy towards the mat and take our gaze and sit bones lifting to the sky. Exhale, hollow the tummy and chest. Tuck your chin. Tuck your tailbone. Inhaling it back to cow. Exhaling it to cat. Let's do one more each direction. Big inhale to cow. And big exhale to cat. Coming back to a neutral spine. And we sit it back to child's pose. Now child's pose again is another opportunity where if you like, pull that bolster in and rest your chest or the side of your head. This is an amazing place to be. Just super, super good for the whole body to just sink in. So you get a really nice quad stretch, really nice glute stretch, mobility through the hips, a nice release for that lower back. And you just get to melt. Now, if that's like, it's a little bit too much support, just let yourself come down. You can always stack fists. So we're staying up just a little bit. You can always flatten the palms, but still a little lift. Or, of course, arms extended all the way out. Find your breath. And we're going to walk those hands up. And we're going to work some shoulder mobility here. So we're going to be sitting on the knees, kind of on the shins. If this is not doable for you, whether it be knees or quads are too tight, the front of the thighs, you use your bolster to sit on that bolster. You can use your block to sit. So depending upon how much height you need, you can adjust and maneuver. Shoulder mobility, you guys, this is super important each day that goes by. We really need to work on that shoulder mobility. So using your bolster, using your block if you need to, or just sitting on those heels. We take our strap. Wonderful tool, guys. So this is a cool thing because you can adjust however you need to. If you like to wrap your hands in your strap, you can, or just hold on. I just like to hold on so that I can move as I want to. And I want your arms to remain as straight as you can get them. So we're going to take those arms up and overhead. So just at first, I just want you to take it back. Oh, that feels so good. As far as you can go, mindful that we're not bending the elbows. We want those arms to stay straight. So coming back, and then bringing that strap back to your thighs. We bring it back up and over. So we're just checking in. Oh, good chest stretch, great shoulder stretch. We're going to do that one more time. And then bringing it back. So this time we're going to work to get that full rotation through the shoulder. So your shoulder is a ball and socket joint, right? So that ball and socket, we want it to move freely through that joint, okay? So we're going to promote mobility, but we want to make sure that we are staying true and aligned. So keeping those arms as straight as we can. We're going to take the arms up and we're going to hit that spot once again. Now, can we continue down without bending those arms? Without kind of rotating those shoulders, and take it up and over. So you might need to widen your stance or widen your arms a little bit to give yourself a little smoother rotation. What I want you to be really mindful of is that we are not doing this to come through. Okay, so no bending of the elbows, keeping those arms straight, or that. So as those shoulders kind of manipulate it, we want to keep the shoulders in line. We want to stay tall through the crown of the head, and we just want to let those arms. And if this isn't in the cards today, guys, it's okay. Just take it back to that fullest point where you get that awesome stretch through the chest. It'll come. Making this the last one, touching the thighs, bringing it back up and over. And up and back. Nicely done. Now let's lift those arms. Let's actually bring those arms down. Let's come on back to that easy pose, whether it be on your bolster, on your bum, on the mat, whatever it is. And we're going to take those arms up. And then we're just going to lean over to the right. Oh, but we're going to keep those sit bones down. Just using that strap, pulling with that right arm to get that beautiful long stretch. Inhale it back up. And then exhale. Oh, other side. Breathe. And inhale it back up. Now from here, beautiful. We are going to bring our hands in and we're going to drop the strap down the back. I'm going to turn around so you can see from behind. So the arm is up and I'm going to drop that strap down the center of my back. Bending that elbow, left elbow, right hand is going to come up and I'm going to take a hold of this strap. And I'm going to start to pull with my bottom hand and draw that top hand down. So you should feel a really nice stretch in the shoulder and in the tricep. Now it's really cool because with the strap, you can start working your way up little bits at a time to the point where maybe those fingers touch and you can interlace those fingers or just hook onto those fingers. Breathe. So the strap is meant to progress, to help you along the way, but give you that firm foundation of where we're headed and allow you to manipulate the movements as the body is ready. So as we come to that bind, we're ready. Nice big deep breaths. And we're going to release the hands, extending that left arm, lifting the right. Right hand takes a hold of the strap. And we're going to drop it down, right down the center of the back. The left arm reaching up and taking a hold of that strap. So both hands have a hold of the strap, and then we're going to bend that right elbow, and we're just going to walk the hand up the strap as far as it's ready to go. And then we're going to pull down with that left hand. So that bottom hand is pulling down, and I have a firm grip with both hands. So just kind of working. So you'll notice that bottom arm, that left shoulder, you're getting some activation through the muscles. And then as you're ready, that hand transition up. Now, you guys, it's not going to happen maybe today, okay? So as you transition and as your body gets more limber, more flexible, more range of motion, the progression can take as long as it needs to take. And if you're coming back from injury, if you didn't even realize you had an injury, whether it be new or old. So there's lots of things, guys, that can kind of hinder us. Tension, tightness, stress. Stress does crazy things to the body. So let that stuff go. And then gently release. And go ahead and release the arms, release that strap. And sitting in that easy pose, and we're going to set the block off to the side. If you'd like to use the block, that's fine if you don't have a bolster. We're going to take that bolster and we're going to turn it on its side. So it's not tallest point, but it's the second level. So here's level 1, level 2, level 3. So we're going to take it down to level 2. Now we're going to take it out in front. You might have to maneuver it a little bit. And you're going to take a hold and you're going to walk your hands out. And you're going to release the upper body down. So with those hands on that bolster, we just get this nice shoulder stretch. So now let's take it down to level 1. Now we're getting into that lower back a little bit more. Tummy and chest just nestled into your lap. If you like, move that bolster aside and just be on the mat, on the floor. Letting gravity take a hold. Breathe. And let's slowly walk those hands back up. We come forward and once again up onto all fours and back to child's pose. So the body's been here once before. Do we need that bolster or are we ready to release it? Even if you're ready to release it and you're like, I just love the way it feels, that's absolutely fine. Arms extended out nice and long, hands shoulder width apart. We lift the forehead, tuck the toes, press and lift your hips to the sky. So as we come up to our downward facing dog, just noticing great stretch all the way down the backs of the legs. Big deep breaths as we alternate bending knees. Walk it out. Let's inhale up to the balls of the feet. Exhale, press the chest and shoulders toward your thighs. Reach your sit bones high. And as you exhale, let your heels gently sink. Taking the gaze between your hands, walk your feet in to forward fold. We take a hold of our block. So if you have really tight hamstrings, tight lower back, tight glutes, we're going to come up to our highest point on our block. And we're going to have that block just below the shoulders. And we're going to support ourselves so that we can really get that sensation of touching the ground. And then we can slowly start to bend the elbows as the body's ready to progress. A soft bend in those knees so you're not feeling pressure behind the knees. If you're ready to go down to that level 2, that medium place on your block, make it happen. Level 1, flattest part. If you're ready to release the block, just taking things at your own pace. Your own range of motion. This is your journey, guys. Now, if we've got that block, we inhale it up to monkey. Fingertips are going to tap, and we're going to lift and lengthen through the crown of the head. Core is strong. And then exhale, release it back down. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. Leave your block there. Exhale, left hand down, right arm high, lean in and reach. Inhale, both arms come up. Exhale, other side, lean in and reach. Inhale, both arms come up. Exhale, swan dive to forward fold. And we take a giant step back with our left foot, bringing that back knee to the mat, top of the foot to the mat. Now again, our block is here. It can be off to the side or it can be out in front of us. It can be at any level you need it to be to find the floor. So sometimes finding the floor is not in the equation, so we're going to lift the floor to us, and you're going to be wherever you need to be. Now we're going to pull that block to the inside of our foot, and we're going to extend right arm out, circle it up, and open. So maybe you're transitioning to the lowest part of the block, that flat block. Maybe after a while you transition to the floor. So you're going to be wherever you need to be. Breathe. Circle that right arm back up and over. Releasing hands to the mat. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, draw that left foot in. We adjust the block wherever you need it. Bringing that floor up to you. Big step back with your right foot. Knee comes down. Again, we've got the block there, so we've lifted the floor up to us. Hips are heavy, getting that really nice stretch through the hip flexors. You can adjust the level however you like. And we're going to transition that block to the inside of our foot. Hands supporting, left arm extends out, circle it up and open, reaching through those left fingertips, rolling that left shoulder back. Find your breath. So again, if it's too deep, guys, come up a little bit. If you're having a hard time getting those full big breaths, if you're feeling any kind of discomfort beyond a good stretch, that's an indication that maybe you need to adjust. Maybe you're ready to come to the floor. We circle that left arm back up and over, bringing the floor back to you however you need it to happen. Breathe. If you like, up onto the pads of the fingers, tuck your toes, draw that back foot in to forward fold, supported with that block if you like. Inhale up to monkey. Exhale down. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. And exhale, pull the hands to heart center. We're going to come to dancer's pose today, and dancer's pose is a wonderful balancing pose to use with the strap. So we're going to take our strap in our dancer's pose, ultimately using the hand as opposed to a strap, but for today. And if you want to move so that you're close to a wall or you have a chair in front of you, great way to assist. So if we're using a wall, hand is just going to be gently placed. Left hand on the wall, right hand, we're going to reach down, we're going to put that little loop right around the foot. So not at the ankles, so the upper part, but kind of just at the top of the foot. And then we're going to draw the knees together. Now slowly begin to lift the foot. Now we can bring that strap up and over the shoulder. It's a great quad stretch, you guys. Breathe. So if you're ready, you can let go of that wall. If you still need it, take it. Breathe. And we're going to start to lean forward a little bit. Finding that breath. Arm is extended out in front. You can have it out to the side. Breathe. So that strap is helping. And then you can start to maneuver your hand down that strap to where one day, maybe, we take the foot in our hand and guide the hand towards the sky. So, but meantime, we use the strap and then gently coming out and release. And we do the same thing on the other side. So the wall is handy. We use that left hand to place that little strap right over the top of the foot. Right arm extends out. And we're going to slowly begin to draw that left foot up. Breathe. So just that strap coming right up over the shoulder. And then slowly beginning to hinge forward. Breathe. So you can use the strength of that left arm to pull on that strap to intensify things. So that as you progress, maybe one day, we take a hold of the foot and guide that foot towards the sky. Breathe. So all things in time, guys. Slowly coming out of your dancer's pose, gently releasing that strap and standing tall. Nice work. We're going to keep this strap and we're going to bring it around behind us. And similar to where we started with that shoulder, the rotations, holding onto that strap. So ultimately, we would be working to bind, interlacing the fingers behind our back. If that is not happening quite yet, we're going to take a hold of the strap anywhere you would like it to be, wider or narrower. And we're going to slowly begin to hinge it forward. Core is strong, so we're actually incorporating a couple, right? So we're getting a forward fold, a soft bend in those knees, taking the pressure out from behind the knees. And then we're going to slowly begin to lift those arms. So if you have really tight shoulders, guys, this strap is like one of your very best friends. Breathe. And we can work those hands closer together. Each time we come back, maybe a little more progress. A little more progress. So that maybe one day we can interlace those fingers. Head is heavy. Give that head a little shake wherever you are. Knees again softly bent so there's no pressure. And then slowly lower the hands back down. Releasing your hands to forward fold. Release your strap. And ever so slowly roll yourself up. With a big shoulder roll up and back. Shoulders slide down and away. So we're going to grab our block. A book is also great, guys. So if you don't have a block, these you can pick up just about anywhere on the internet or at a sporting goods store, TJ Maxx, any of those places. So and they're not very expensive. So grabbing one wherever you can. We're going to turn those left toes straight ahead towards the top of your mat. And then we're going to open up our stance, not quite as wide as a warrior if you are familiar with warrior poses. If you're not familiar with warrior poses, we're a little bit beyond hip width apart with our left foot pointing straight ahead. Like if this were a clock, this is 12 o'clock, and we want your back foot, that right foot turned out about a 45-degree angle. And then we're going to extend the arms out. Our block is in that left hand, and we're going to reach out. And we're going to reach out as far as we can reach. And then we're going to release that block down right along the outside edge of your foot, and that left arm extends to the sky. Now you might need to play with it a little bit. Maybe it feels better to you to have a wider stance or a narrower stance. Extending and reaching. Beautiful thing with this again, progress, right? So we take it down to level 2. Oh, deepening that stretch. This feels so good, you guys, through the hips and the waist. Down to level 1. That block is flat. Maybe we take it down and we're just tapping the fingertips to the mat. Gaze is to the sky. This is our triangle pose. Breathe. So if you are able to get to the mat, take a hold of that block and rise. And we shift. So now that right foot straight ahead to that 12 o'clock or 6 o'clock if you're doing the same clock, and we're going to switch hands. So if you already know you want a level 2, you're going to place that block along the long side. If you want that level 3, that tallest position, hold on to the end of the block. And we're going to reach it out far as we can reach, opening the tummy and chest, and then slowly releasing that block to the outside edge of your foot. Left arm to the sky. Reach it up. So again, if you need to adjust the stance, adjust. One of the biggest things is you are never stuck in a yoga pose. I want you to feel the strength in your core, so you're not like all the body weight leaning onto that block. I just want a little bit. It's just there to lift the floor to you. If you're ready, take it down a notch. If you're like, ooh, not quite yet, just bring it back up. Feels good? Take it down to that lowest spot. And good is a relative term in yoga, guys. So always remember that. Good is if you can still breathe and there's no pain. If you like, all the way down, fingertips, just gently touching the mat. Core is remaining strong. Breathe. And we take a hold of that block if you've released it, and we're going to rise all the way back up. Now we're going to turn those toes inward. So we've created a little bit of a pigeon-toed stance with our legs, and we're going to take that block and extend it to the sky. You don't have to have a block, but if you have one and you want to hinge it forward, come all the way over. And we're going to take it down, placing the block to the mat, and lengthen through the crown of the head. Now slowly release it down. Just bending at the elbows. Now if at some point you feel like you can just release the block, you can actually bring the block to the flattest part and bring the crown of the head to the mat or to the block. Now if you get there before you want to, take the block away.
because ultimately we are working to get the crown of the head to the floor. Remember, the block is just to lift the floor up to us. Now, if you get to the floor before you want to, you're going to bring those feet in just a little bit, narrowing that stance, and breathe. We bring the hands to the outsides of the ankles and use the strength of the arms to pull that upper body in. Gently releasing the arms, let them hang. We're going to turn those heels inward, toes out. Extend the arms out to a T. Lengthen through the crown of the head and slowly rise. Awesome job. Release your arms. Turn and step to the top of your mat to mountain. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, swan dive to forward fold. Inhale up to monkey half lift. Do you need that block? Grab it if you need it. Exhale down, walk, step, or hop to high plank. Toes or knees to the mat. Crocodile down. Press it through up dog. And sit it back to child's pose. Do you want that bolster? Do you want the block? Or are you good without? So if we've progressed, moving through our practice, adding the blocks and the straps and the bolsters in as we need to. At some point, maybe we don't need quite as much assistance with those. But never feel bad, never judge about using them. They are wonderful tools. And we're going to walk those hands up, and we're going to grab our block. And we're going to kind of set it off to the side just a little bit. We're going to take that right knee and slide it through. Resting on your shin, slide your block kind of right underneath your bum. And let yourself come down onto that block for our pigeon pose. So our hips, chest, and shoulders are facing to the front. So again, we're bringing the floor up to us, right? So there's this tendency in pigeon pose to really kind of lean over onto that hip when we're not ready for it, when we still have a lot of tension and tightness in those hips. If you feel like you're ready, go ahead and release that block and come down. Just be mindful so that you're not rolling over onto that hip. We want to stay up nice and tall. This is another one, great one for the bolster if you like, either long way or horizontally. And we walk those hands forward to sleeping pigeon. So our sleeping pigeon intensifies that stretch in the hip. So as the bolster lifts us, it's not quite so intense. Can feel pretty darn good, however. And it doesn't have to be super intense, you guys, to get the benefits of these poses. We never want to go beyond an 8 or so, but if it feels good to you, go ahead and come on all the way down. And just breathe. So never any reason, literally never any reason to go beyond an 8. And these gentle, kind stretches that we can stay in do so many amazing things for our bodies. Working out entanglements of fascia and muscle and tension and tightness just really gets rid of negative energy. So it's all super good, guys. And never feel bad about coming out of a pose before you're cued to do so either. Sometimes your body's like, hey, I give, that's enough. Listen to that. And let's slowly walk those hands back up. We lift the hips just enough to slide that right foot back and slide that left knee in. So again, we're going to slide that block underneath that left hip, left sit bone. Okay, and just find that spot. And you can adjust however you need to, guys. So find that good placement of wherever it needs to be. So again, it's about making sure that we're not kind of rolling over onto that left hip. And this is also a great way to kind of ease into things if you're taking care of knees and working your way back to that knee flexibility. So we're not all the way down.
So if you feel like you're ready to release that block, feel free. That's a great thing about the towels and the blankets too, is you can kind of unroll them, you can unfold them, and slowly, progressively get down to flat. So just listen to your body. And then let's slowly walk the hands forward. Again, either with the bolster or without, we come to sleeping pigeon. And like I said, you guys, never feel bad about taking care of yourself and making things a little less intense. Life can be intense enough as it is. This is about letting go of stress, tension, tightness, negative energy, and it's about allowing the energy to move through us freely rather than being blocked by tension and those muscle knots and those entanglements in our fascia. So if by taking things easier, lifting the floor to you helps that happen and creates better blood flow, that's what we're going for. So make it happen. And let's slowly walk those hands back up. Let's go ahead and sweep that right leg around and extend both legs out. So this, our staff pose, can be pretty darn intense for the hamstrings, for the glutes, for that lower back. Great way. And again, you guys, we've got lots of options here, okay? So bending the knees and sliding that bolster underneath the knees. Maybe that's too much and it's just a rolled towel. You can absolutely do that. You can also use your block. So at that second level, this is a great place, and it's narrower so it doesn't get quite in the way. And we sit up to our staff pose. You can do the same thing, just a little bend. It's just a little bit more, kind of gets into the back of the thigh when you're at that lowest point on the block. When you're ready, legs are long. Flex your feet. If you like, take your strap. Wrap that strap around the base of the foot and take a hold. Still sitting in staff pose. So traditionally, staff pose is the hands down by your sides, sitting up nice and tall, and that 90-degree bend with the upper and lower body. If you're using that strap to help intensify that stretch for the hamstrings, we want that strap kind of just below the ball of your foot or on the ball of your foot. You can use where you take both hands, or you can individually hold on to each strap, and you're going to lengthen through the crown of the head and slowly begin to pull yourself forward. So if you are not using the strap, arms are overhead, same positioning, lengthening through the crown of the head, working to get the bottom of your tummy to the thighs, then the top of the tummy, then the chest, and then release. So as we're working with the strap, we keep that length in the spine. So we're hinging from the hips as opposed to bending at the waist. So when you hollow out through the tummy and chest, we're bending at the waist. Breathe. Now we can keep a hold of that strap or release it. Now just let yourself fold forward. So we can keep that intensity with the arms. You can hold on to the outside edges of your feet if you have short legs like I do, or if you've got the flexibility to do so. Otherwise, just use the straps. You can hold on to the outsides of your ankles anywhere you like, guys, working to flex those feet. So one of the added benefits about this strap is it automatically makes you flex your feet and intensifies the stretch. Inhale, lengthen, and sit up nice and tall. Take that strap, set it off to the side, and extend those arms out. Slowly roll yourself back. And relax. Drawing that right knee in, right arm extends out to the side, left hand to the outside of the right knee, and gently pull your leg across your body. Keeping both shoulders on the mat, turn your gaze out over that right arm. I love this stretch. Breathe. So lots of work with the strap, bolster, and block. Hopefully that was really helpful for you. There's lots of ways to add those into your practice. Slowly roll it back to center, extending that right leg to the sky. Point your toes, lengthen your leg, little external rotation through that hip, and slowly lower the leg down. And allow it to come to rest. Left knee comes in, left arm extends out to a T, right hand to the outside of the left knee, and gently pull your leg across your body. Keeping both shoulders on the mat. Oh, just turn your gaze out over that left arm. Close your eyes. Nice big deep breaths. Releasing that right hand, rolling back to center. Extending left leg to the sky. Point your toes, lengthen your leg, little external rotation through your hip, and slowly lower the leg down. And allow it to come to rest. Bringing the hands down by your sides, turning the palms open to the sky. Just taking a moment in corpse pose to check in. Slow, deep breaths. Mind quiet, body saying thank you. Self-care, a healthy body, a healthy mind. Such wonderful gifts. Giving ourselves an opportunity to relax, to refresh, and re-energize. As you're ready, gently drawing your feet in towards your bottom, rolling to one side, and using the strength of your arms to help you come up once again on your bolster, your block, or just on your bottom against the mat. Let's gently relax the hands to the knees, opening the palms to the sky. Close your eyes. Big, full, deep breaths. Shoulders rolled back, spine tall, chest open to giving and receiving love, positive energy. Let's gently pull the hands to heart center, open the eyes. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today, working with our straps, our blocks, and our bolsters. What a fun addition. Great way if you're just getting started, if it's coming back after years, and just something new. It's always fun, guys. It's always fun to explore. Thanks for being here. I hope you subscribe. I hope that you pass along my name and this channel to many, many others. I would just love to have a positive effect on as many folks in this world as possible. So thanks for being here. Thanks for doing your part to make sure that you are healthy and strong. Be well. And until the next time, namaste.